Good morning and welcome to episode 6 of our series of questions that newbies probably ought to be asking themselves before they plop down their money. Hi, I'm Arnie, and you're watching E-Bike Life with Arnie J. If you're into e-bikes and you want to know more and you like going on rides and you like seeing new accessories and stuff like that, why don't you consider subscribing? Just click that big red subscribe button, click the bell icon so you don't miss anything, and make sure that you tell that YouTube thing that you want to be notified of every video, not just some of them. And leave us likes and comments and all that good stuff. It really does help the channel to be pushed out to other people so that they can get a taste of what we're doing here too. Do appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So question number 6 is, what's the maximum speed that you want to be able to go? That's a tough question. You have to have a realistic thought. If you've never ridden a bike or an e-bike, you may not want the highest speed e-bike that you can possibly get. It's just, you might scare yourself to death, or you might get in an accident. It's hard to say for sure, but as I have mentioned in others, there are bikes in the U.S. They have come in 3 classifications. There's Class 1, which is, the bike, the electric motor is allowed to push you to 20 miles an hour. That doesn't mean you can't go faster, but you just have to work a little bit harder to do it. But that's what a Class 1 is. Class 2 is up to, excuse me, Class 2 is up to 20 miles an hour also, but it has a throttle. And then there's Class 3, which the motor is allowed to push you up to 28 miles an hour, but has no throttle. And those are the regs in the U.S., although I have to admit, I think manufacturers are kind of finding ways to skirt around that. Let me just share with you, I have a speed pedelec. My cube is capable of moving me up to 28 miles an hour. Again, I can go faster if I'm, going downhill, or if I'm wanting to work harder. But in truth, I don't know that, aside from maybe once or twice, that I've ever gone 28 miles an hour. Heck, the fact of the matter is that I typically don't even go 20 miles an hour. You have to kind of keep in mind where you're riding and that kind of stuff. If you're on a MUP, a multi-purpose trail, or a multi-use path, whatever, they typically have speed limits on them. They usually say 15 miles an hour. Now, I don't know that anybody really pays attention to that, but still, if riding 15, 16, 17 miles an hour is plenty good for the majority of us. So you have to kind of keep that in mind as well. And if you're on, public streets in town, you might, work harder and go faster to kind of keep up with traffic. There's a lot of variables here, but again, personally, I have not found myself going over 20 miles an hour. Very, very seldom, if ever, do I do that. So the 28 mile an hour, go for it if that's what you want, but I would bet anything that you're not gonna drive that or ride that speed very often. Of course, there's always exceptions to that rule, but that's the way it is. So there you have it, basically. I mean, there's a lot of other things that you can consider in there. I mean, obviously the faster you go, the more battery life you're using up, that you're using up. So, weigh those things. I guarantee you, unless you're, one of those few, a 20-mile-an-hour bike is going to be ample. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Don't forget, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave comments, all that good stuff. It helps so much, and we appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for stopping by.